Alright, so hey everybody. Um, Sorry I haven't been streaming lately, but here's something that I've been looking into, working on, and that is some facial animations, right? Because NPCs talking might um, look a little bit better if lips were moving, hopefully somewhat in sync with the audio. But let's take a look. I'll show you a little bit of what I've done for that. And first of all, one thing that you're gonna need to do is you're gonna need one of these plugins. And I unfortunately I cannot recall the correct name of it. But let me quickly um, look at one of my audio sounds. So I'm gonna start with this guy here. And let's see, I'm gonna go into one of the dialogues just to make sure of what the audio is. Let's see. Alright, so if we look at plugins, this should be called something like MetahumanSDK. So here it is. This is it. You can get it on the marketplace for free, which is nice. So with this one, the nice thing that you can do is when you have an audio imported, so I have a couple of audio files here, you can right click on it and then create lip sync animation. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna get I've been using freesound.org, which is a really nice resource. And so I found this one sound. I'm gonna give credit to where credit is due, from Inspector J. And
Who are you?
whoops, that's a
Who
little
are
loud.
you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
So basically
Who are you?
um,
What are you?
just
Who
a
are you?
simple
Who are you? Who are you?
audio of who are you. And let's go ahead. I'm gonna download this, and let's put this window to the side. Alright, so let's take a look. I think it might be downloaded. Alright, so it's downloaded. One thing that I want to do first is I'm going to go into Audacity and just cut out a part of the audio that I need. So let's take a look. I'm going to import this into here. And if you're not familiar with Audacity, this is a free software, which is actually really awesome. Alright, so let's
Who are
play
you?
this. That's pretty
Who are you?
good.
Who are you?
I'm going to try and
Who are
find.
you? Who are 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 you?
So I think I kind of like this one here. So I'm just going to select this piece of audio, and
Who are you?
that's kind of interesting. It seems a little assertive. Let's see, maybe one that's a little bit not so screaming. Let's try this one.
Who are you?
It's inquisitive, but a little too soft.
Who are you?
I kind of like this one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and export this audio. So file, export selected audio, and I'm just gonna put it here in downloads. I'm just gonna call it maybe just who are you, because that's what it says. Okay, so that got exported, and let me take a look and see where those audio files are at. Alright, so they're in dialogues, and that's where I'm going to import it. So let's bring it into here. So there's my audio file. Alright, well, so simply just right click and create lip sync animation. There's a couple of things that I want to check off here. So I have, I think I'm going to keep it as calm. There is eye movement, neck movement, and I think they're still working on these. So they might turn out to be quite a little bit better than now. I think I'm gonna keep this one as cubic, and then the skeleton. This one's gonna be the face skeleton of our metahuman, and I believe it is this one. And also, we're gonna change the mapping modes to an e-mapping asset, and that's gonna be our digital human to metahuman mapping. And I can't remember if this one was actually doing anything, but I'm gonna set up for metahumans as well. So let's go ahead and generate the animation. Alright, let's take a look at how this looks as far as the who are you lip movement. Hopefully, there we go. Alright, so let me hide the bones. Not too bad. It just seems a little quick. Who are you? I mean, I'm trying to think of how your lips move. So let's try and generate that again um, without the last option that I checked. So let's go back into here, and I'm gonna try create lip sync animation, and the same thing. Let's uncheck this. Alright, let's generate that. That still seems really quick, really fast. I mean, it's um, I mean, even so, the nice thing about it is that it's it's applying the movement to all the facial muscles, at least the ones that we're interested in. The one thing that I'm not noticing is the blinking, because with some of the other ones that I've generated as tests, so this is saying Jane is that way, and as you can see, this one actually turned out quite alright. It kind of follows the length of the audio as well. And there's also some eye movement, which is pretty nice. But I'm wondering why this one, it goes pretty quick, and I think it's kind of, one thing that I want to do is let's go back to here. I'm also thinking that some of it is due to the inflections in the audio. So I'm going to try and generate it based off of this one instead. Let's see if that one creates any difference in so yeah, there's like a little bit more of a aggressiveness tone in this. So I'm gonna try and export this, export selected audio, and let's do who are you, V2 maybe. Alright, and let's import it. Downloads, who are you, V2, and let's see if that creates any does any difference in our, as you can see, it's already it's got quite some larger peaks and valleys in the audio. So I'm going to try and create the lip sync animation again. And one thing that I haven't tried is the difference between the blend shape curves interpolation mode. So we can we'll try and change that as well, see if that helps at all. Alright, so let's go ahead and click generate. Let's see how this one looks, if it's if it changes anything. Not a whole lot actually. There's a little bit more movement in the mouth, which is nice, but hmm. Let's see how it looks on our character when I interact with him. So instead of this dialogue here, I believe that one's for him. Yep. All right. So let's take a look, and on this one, I'm gonna try and change this dialogue to be just say, "Who are you?" You know, this would be the text. And then one thing that I want to do is, since these are going to be played as montages, I'm going to go and create a animation montage. Who are you? Lip sync montage. There you go. So I'm going to change it to that. And let's also change the sound. So for the sound, I'm going to use the softer voice. Alright. So I'm going to save that dialogue. And let's go ahead and chat with this guy. Yeah, well, I know about the error. Doesn't really sound very well, but let me put him into hanging outstanding. He didn't really do any lip movement, but I'm wondering why. So he's playing the audio, but he is not playing the montage to play. Voice duration is 4 seconds. Let's take a look at this event. So this is what happens when I have these events. So whenever it stops talking, um, but let's see what that is about. So he's going to play the montage, and the target is going to be face, but so if you're interested, this is how that event looks like for this. This is an event specific to this dialogue plugin that I'm using. And so when event triggered, it's casting to that. And so the face should be playing this montage. So let's trigger a breakpoint here. Let's see if that's being triggered to begin with. Alright, so it is triggered. And it's getting the proper lip sync montage, but it's odd why it doesn't play it properly. I'm gonna stop this, and I'm gonna try and get one of the other montages that I have, and use that. Let's take a look. Animation sequence and montage. There we go. And it's just so you know, is what I've done, especially when interacting with the NPCs, is I didn't want them. Sometimes it behaves odd when you keep your position and interact with an NPC. So what I did is they have its kind of their own little camera. So you just move to that position basically, and you face them directly. So you're not gonna get the NPC to change their position, or it's easier for me to change the position of the actual um, player character, right? So I just position them in front of the NPC. But yeah, the problem, this is so weird. I can't understand why this is not playing the lip movement, and that that was just working. Um, let me take a look at where do I have that open? I'm trying to find the animation blueprint. There it is. And that's the final pose. So the slot is talking, which, oh, I know what it is now. I don't think I've assigned the slot to these. So let's take a look at that. Because I have a specific slot that where I'm blending on the facial root. So um, basically I can also blend on, like your Adam's apple to move up and down, and other things like that. So let me assign that um, the montage to this. So let's go into the montage, and let me see. Hopefully that's what the issue is. I'm gonna assign the slot to be talking. Let me make sure that was the right slot. Yep, that is it. So let's take a look at it now. But forgot, I need to okay, so that one's already on there, but I need to assign the montage. And while I'm here, I'm gonna also adjust this. Yeah, so this one wasn't on the talking slot either, so just to have that set up. Okay, now going back to here, we have the dialogue, and let's assign the proper who are you montage to this. Alright, so let's take another look at this and see how it looks. It might look a little odd just because the way it got generated, but let's see. Oh, I forgot about this. And come on, really? Why don't you play? Alright, yeah. Not sure why I'm running, but hmm. It's still not playing. Let's see. Sometimes it's odd that let's see what's going on. Oh, there you go. It sometimes it just doesn't save it properly when it comes to these, but as you can see, it actually moved kind of. Oh, I did not want to do that. It actually moves kind of realistically, sort of. So let's take a quick peek at this. Um, there you go. Yeah, it's kind of just like opening the mouth real quick, so it's not as good as I was hoping it would be. So let's try that again. I'm gonna try and regenerate this lip sync animation. So we have that. If I recall correctly, this did not. If I change this to mappings mode of none, let's see if that works. But I think that's not gonna do anything if I recall correctly. I was playing around with some of these, and let's see, where is it? So set up for Metahumans. let's take a look. Yeah, so that's the one thing that it doesn't do anything, even if you click. And again, this is a plugin that is still in development, so and it's free, so no complaints there. But let's try with one of the other options for blend shape. So I'm gonna try constant, and we're saying that we need to have a mapping mode to that. And I'm gonna uncheck setup for metahumans and try and generate it now. So let's take a look at if that. Oh, I think that actually looks a little bit better. Um, it kind of grinds his teeth. I think it's a little bit better than the other one, but still not. It's still not moving his eyes, which is what I was hoping that I was gonna get, but apparently not quite. Let me close some of these open tabs here. I don't need them. Come on, you can do it. Sorry, I have a really old i5, so it's not the most game development friendly CPU, but it works. Alright, so let's see. Let's try this again. I'm gonna delete a couple of these new ones that I've created since they're not very useful attempts. Let's try this again. So we have that. Let's try linear. I wish I would have written down what I used for the first time this happened, but I am also wondering if the plugin is so made so that it doesn't really do anything unless the sequence is a little longer than what you would expect. So that's one of my assumptions. But and for who are you, it's really even now trying to say it, I'm just thinking, okay, the lip movement is not so intense as it would be for a longer dialogue. That's actually not too bad. I can work with that. And actually, let's try and just as a pure test, I'm gonna try and find a kind of a longer um, um, longer dialogue, and let's see how this one.
Where are you? Where are you?
This is still just a simple or short audio. Let's see if we can find something a little longer. That's just gibberish. Dialogue timing, hello dialogue. Let's see, what does this say? Oh, there you go. This is actually pretty cool. By PC Mac. So this one definitely has quite a lot more variety, and hopefully it'll do some more lip movement, and we'll see how it works. So let's take a look. Show in folder, and I think I can import it directly the way it is. So I'm gonna do that. And let's try this one out. So yeah, that's definitely a pretty long dialogue, so that's good. Alright, so here we have it, and I'm gonna right click and create create lip sync animation. And let's do this one was as cubic, I think, by default, so I'm gonna keep it like this. So let's try and generate and see how this this turns out. and I believe when you set up this add-on, there's a on their profile on the marketplace, there's a couple of steps that you need to do as far as guidance, because what it does, it actually reaches out to their servers, I think, and um, it that's how it gets the blend shapes values, I would assume, to apply to your MetaHuman. So let's take a look and see. Hey, that actually turned out a whole lot better. And there's some eye movement. That's nice. There's the blinking. All right, so I guess that's pretty good. Let's put it on the actual character and see how it looks in game. And for that, I'm gonna go to my dialogue and let's take a look. Before that, I'm gonna do. What was the name of this PC? Okay, so it takes the name. It actually takes the name of the audio file. So I'm gonna go and create a anim montage, and let's assign that to our talking slot. So talking. And again, if you're interested, the only thing that I've done is in the face anim VP of the MetaHuman. You just I didn't really need these because I do not have an iPhone. Hopefully they're gonna step away from being locked in with Apple. But yeah, basically it's just your body pose, and added a slot for talking, and the layer blend per bone is on the facial facial root. So um, that works for me pretty well, and then on the output pose. So now let's take a look at applying that to this guy. So we back here. Let's apply the montage to play, and let's apply the audio as well. So the audio is here, the guidance. Alright, I'm gonna save that and let's interact with them. That was pretty good, actually. I'm okay with that. Let's take another look at it. Not too bad. Not too bad for something that is free. and I believe they're still working on it, and maybe working on some better implementations with the MetaHuman. And so yeah, one thing that I want to try is I'm gonna get this audio back in here. I'm gonna delete this. I don't need that. I want to increase the volume, and I think let me select it and then go to effect. I can't remember what it was. I think it might be under amplify. You can also use the Q key to swap it. So I just wanted to make some more peaks and valleys. I'm hoping that it's going to increase the difference in the blend shapes, so it's going to hopefully make it a little bit more obvious on the mouth movements. So export this as WAV and guidance v2. Okay, let's import it into the engine. And v2. Oh, that's not it, sorry. Well, that's interesting. Why didn't it? Gonna have to rename it real quick. Didn't really like it. Oh, that's interesting. So, oh, it's using a template. That's interesting. Okay. Well, now that we have that in here, you can also use the Q key to swap out. Alright, so there's a little bit of a difference between these two. Let's try and generate the lip sync animation and see if there's any difference in the lip movement. Hopefully it is. Alright, and now that has been generated, let's take a look at how this one looks, if it looks any better. So that, let me zoom in a little bit. So there's that compared to, where's the other one? I was thinking that was going to be the same. Not a whole lot of difference actually. So there's that versus this. Yeah, it's about the same. So I guess it doesn't really matter if with my attempt to amplify it, they're just about the same, or probably identical. But but yeah, that's and actually this one is just another. This is the MetaHuman Anim. So that's one way to get some facial animations really cheap, really quick, actually really free, and that's how I go about doing that. The other thing that I wanted to take a look at today was something that I'm not sure if I'm going to get to fully complete during the stream, but I wanted to check um, on the quests. So basically, if somebody is giving you a quest, if that shows up when so once you're in game mode currently, if you press Q, you have a list of quests. So I wanted to see if whenever I interact with one of these guys, I had that implemented a while back, but I haven't checked on it in a while. So now that I'm getting started with adding them for the NPCs they're going to interact with for the demo, I wanted to test and see if the quest is showing up properly. And let's take a look at that. So I have, so I'm going to look, excuse me, I'm going to look at my dialogues. And let's take a look. I can't remember if I need to see which one of those is actually assigning a quest. So that's basically sending the NPC to a location, and but I'm trying to find the one that is actually sending you, or actually giving you a quest. So let's take a look. Oh, there we go. I think this might be an example. So this is basically a little side quest that I wanted to do where you get to feed the dog. And let me take a look. And conditions. Alright, so that's a check for the assigning the alright, so there you go. This is the assigned quest, and the quest is with the quest details, feed Rocco. So basically I have a struct for a set of quests. So if I look at my data table, there's an example of them, and these are just a few of the ones for the demo that I'm hoping to work on. And so one of them is going to be this feed Rocco. Where is it? Feed Rocco. And so my character has a quest component, and whenever I access it, whenever you get a quest, this gets added to that list, and you can you can take a look by pressing Q, so that way they get displayed, and once they get completed, they're not no longer in the list. And each one of these quests has an item which is similar to the items that I use for the inventory. And in this case, the item is going to be a soup can for the dog. And so basically, that's how I handle quests and in my project. So let's try this out. I can't remember. I mean, this would be a good test for myself to kind of troubleshoot, and maybe I'm gonna find some bugs. But so for this guy in particular, let's take a look and see which one was the dialogue that was feeding Rocco. I believe it's this one. Let's add that to our guy here. So feed Rocco. Of course, it's not the proper character, but it will do. You know, I can interact with them, and I can generate. And his name is Jane. I'm not judging. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and interact with this guy. And ready to help me out? Sure, what it is. Yeah, I will. And man, I hate this. Let me try and change the time of day, because it's just a little. I can't really see the text. I need to make some changes to that text so that it's. I think that might be good enough. So that is not positioned like that. One thing, I don't want these to be like all the way over here, but I want to move them further down to the bottom. All right, so let's take a look. I will need you to go to the bottom level and find a can of soup to feed Rocco. Okay, I'll do it. So now, there we go. We have a quest to say head to the basement and find a soup can and feed Rocco. The one thing that I don't have, I don't think, is a soup can. I can't remember if I've ever added one, but let's see, what is this one over here? Oh, there it is, a soup can. So now the one thing, so I do have a soup can in my, and oh, I need to find my backpack to access my inventory. So now if I look in the inventory, I have a soup can here. Oh yeah. This was a way that I made it so they can inspect properties, and so the item would get kind of spawned right here. I'm not entirely sure, so I guess I have to put that down as far as a fix that needs to be done. Let's see. So item inspecting. Not spawning. Alright, so I guess I need to add that to my ticketing system. And so you can either, so this is one of the items that you can consume as well. But, oh, and there's another bug. Interesting. When you exit, so if you press inventory while you're inspecting, there's an issue. So you can press I to exit the inventory, but I guess once you're in like an inspecting state, that's when things go sideways. So I'm gonna have to fix that when inspecting. All right. Well, let's go back to. I'm not gonna play with that just yet, but I'm gonna try and see about and adding Where's Rocco? Where's the dog? Oh yeah, there we go. So there's our dog. And I can't remember if somehow I had him connected uh, to a quest, and that's let me see. So I know at this point the one thing that I've done with him is the can't pet him anymore. Huh, that's odd. So Jim, when Jim gives me the task, I should be able to go back to him, and his whining is a little loud, so I might need to tone that down a little bit. But let's see. So once you get this can of soup and feed Rocco, so the soup was over here. And I can't remember what it was when I was interacting with Rocco. If I could have just feed Rocco. Yeah, so that actually changes. So it changes the interaction that I have with this. But oh, and I think I remember what's wrong. It's the interaction itself with this particular character that might be busted. Yeah, so it's this interact event that is not triggered properly. Because when I interact with one of the NPCs, let's see, what's my so I'm using this event interact dot using a dot product, and not the other one was using a ray collision, I believe. So with the dot product is I don't have to look directly at him, but within a specific kind of the dot product is the angle between where you're looking at and how far away you can still. It's kind of a range, so to speak. It's all difficult to explain, but yeah. So that's one of the things that I've implemented with this interact dot. And so the dog character does not have that apparently for whatever reason. So let me try and change that real quick and see if we can interact with him again. So the instigator, I'm going to change that as well. Let's see if I can interact with him this time. So let's go to the dog and see if we can, okay, so now that works. I'm going to be removing that. And there you go, just petting the dog. Alright, so now one of the things that I'm going to need to do is actually fix this interaction, because it still thinks that I'm interacting with him. But let's see, maybe if I can talk to Jim, and apparently it still got stuck in that, and I got a few errors here in my log. Alright, then I'm going to need to fix. But let's see if now, let's get the job from Jim. Yes, okay, I'll do it. Let's find the can of soup. Alright, and I'm also going to pick my backpack. And now I can, when I interact with them, it's kind of, so that's our quest. So let's see if I feed Rocco. It's still not really well. Oh, hey, Infinitu. Hey, what's going on? Infinitu, aka Sfuntu. Welcome, dude. Yeah, well, I haven't been in, you know, I'm trying to not think of things, that are going on. And, but I thought I'd, do, something that just to keep my mind off things as well. So here I am. Um, oh, dude, I mean, yeah, why not? I don't see why you couldn't. Um, it's totally possible. I'm not sure if you just joined the stream, but earlier I was doing a little bit of work with. I gotta start it again because of this error that I have with the dog. But yeah, so basically, let me get a flashlight real quick. I don't know if I have one around. I need to set up a little bit of an asset too. But earlier I was doing a little bit of work on this guy, and I guess it doesn't have the dialogue since I removed it. But just so that I can apply some facial animations to him. So um, if you're thinking of with the VR project something that you get up close to the metahuman, there you go. This is what I was doing earlier in the stream, and just generating this with this really cool plugin, which is from um, it's called MetahumanSDK, and yeah, it does this for you. Basically, it just generates all the blend shapes, as you can see down here, and it's actually pretty close to the actual dialogue. I mean, um, yeah, when you look at a triple A, you probably have facial capture and all that kind of jazz. That it's like a few dozen people working on just that. But when you have a tool like this, you can do it as well. So yeah, I could totally see metahuman characters on a VR project, definitely. Yeah, and it's definitely awesome. I mean, it's um, and the one thing that I do like about it is that they separated this into a separate body part, so you can potentially apply this like right now. Yeah, definitely. Just check out once this video, once I'm done with the stream, you can check it out on the live list, and I actually go through the steps of well, not setting up the plugin. The developers have that on the marketplace, but on actually generating the animation sequence and the montage. Because what I do is it generates an animation, then I turn that into a montage and I apply it to the character. And so that way, it animates just that section of the face. Or, if you have a separate character, you can just blend it onto that on that node. But yeah, that's what it does. And this is a kind of a full body, uh, um, very standard. I think at the moment there's only like 3 clothing selections for each one of the body parts. Of course, you can mix and match and get something different. But having the skeleton as a separate part, you can change that into a you can change the rest of the body, right? And if you link them properly and move them into the right place, you can make it work. So what I was trying out earlier, and this is something that I did, and also something else that I did was I've actually joined the um, and I'm not sure if that's why one of the reasons why he's a little stiff. But one of the things that I wasn't really happy with when retargeting the metahuman to like the ALS animations was that I couldn't get it all the body parts to behave properly. So what I did is, behave properly and work with like the IK bones and everything that the ALS has. And I use ALS v3, so that could be part of the issue. But what I did is in Blender I actually merged all the skeleton together into one, and and that way I just have this one uh, skeleton to deal with basically, right? Even though they're all or body part. So I think it's a little easier to me, was a little bit easier to manage. But yeah, you can definitely, like, I can change this to let me see, where's my ALS, like the or the survival. I think mine was called like a survival, because I have like this package with like a survival pack. So where this is again just another body. And one thing that's nice about this is that the head is on a separate. It's got its own separate material, so you can make that invisible, like just through the material, and I can apply that to this guy, right? So, and of course at that point you just have to move some of, because they don't match, so you might have to move this into place and hide the head. But yeah, so I have an opacity mask here, so I can hide that, and that can give you a little bit more variety on your metahuman clothing at pretty quick, and you wouldn't have to like create your own clothing and all that kind of jazz, which would be nice, but I'm just one person, so you would definitely need to have some help. But yeah, this is what I ended up doing. And also the other thing is, and this is kind of potentially something interesting to do, is and you know what? Let's since I'm it's kind of streaming, it becomes all freestyle, and I think I managed to show everything that I wanted to show as far as the facial animation on MetaHuman, and generating the facial animation, and kind of running into a little bit of blocks with my questing. So the clothing for this one, it comes with the MetaHuman basically, and they have. Let's take a look at MetaHuman actually. Let's take a look at that. And while we might not be able to generate one because it takes forever, but we can try and take a look at the clothing. And actually, where was the link for that? I can't remember what the. Hmm, Let me start a bridge. I think we can jump from bridge into it. One thing that I did was I um, all these clothing, they have a couple of a few styles. So we'll take a look at that real quick, and I'll show you. But what I did is I actually generated all the clothing in white, because from that I can apply my own color, my own material. Of course, it's going to be the same shape overall, but maybe I can make these look um, you know out of a different type of material, right? So that's my main, because like, so this one, for example, this particular blazer or jacket has a combo of two materials, and if I export everything in white, I can potentially paint everything in one color, right? And you can do that um, out of when you edit your MetaHuman. But I wanted to do it in Engine, right? So I wanted to apply multiple colors to the same surfaces, right? I don't want to have separate textures set just for one of those. So let me take a look at MetaHumans, and I'm gonna take a look at the local and see. I know I have a couple of them myself, so um, let's take a look at this guy. So it's metahuman .unrealengine.com. Well, yeah, basically that's that's what it is. Um, it would have been nice, you know, it would have given the extra option of having either a vest, either a hoodie, or both. But no, it's actually just a hoodie, and you apply different colors to it, which is great. You know, don't get me wrong. I am I am thrilled. Um, and you know, like I showed you, you can just uh, you know, just use the head itself because that's kind of the main point of focus, and just use different bodies that are really cheap on the marketplace. You know. But yeah, so let's see. Hopefully, this is gonna load here at some point. Ah, there we go. So yeah, I was picking up Omar. And yeah, well, and the other cool thing about this is, and this is the part that I really like, is that um, the what do they call them? Like the facial hair, you can swipe between characters, right? So I can use the facial hair from Omar that I have here. As you can see, I'm using this facial hair onto Nassim here, right? So basically, that's oh man, this is moving so quick, right? And that's what's really cool about this stuff, and that's why I wanted to keep these separate. So as far as the grooms, I wanted to keep those separate. But yeah, let's go back to MetaHuman here. Well, so exactly, you know, that gives you quite a bit of variety, right? So you can have maybe somebody with the same facial structure or the same face, but have different grooms, and they might look a little different. You know, if you give them a hat or something, yeah. But for this guy, yeah. So this is what I meant. You know, when it comes to tops, I guess you have three of them. So there's this guy, which as you can see, it's got, you know, two colors, and the so yeah, that's why I didn't want to. I wanted to have them as as all white, and then I can just apply whatever colors I want. You know, the normals, I can also apply some normals. Potentially, I can also apply some decals, you know, like some patches or, you know, other things like that. And so, you know, just to give it some variety. But yeah, not unfortunately, you know, again, it's great, but there's also just um, and the bottoms actually has quite a bit more variety, but you know, they're a really clean kind of look. And if you want to apply a little bit more of a grungy type of aspect, um, you know, there's the skinny jeans, there's the regular jeans, slacks, you know, shorts. But again, it's got the, you know, the primary color and the secondary color, so that's all very nice, you know. And then you get the shoes, and the shoes is, you know, kind of the same thing. Um, that you know, unfortunately, you can only control like one of the colors. And oh, actually, oh, wow, I haven't tried that. So there you go. That's pretty cool. And so you have, you know, white on white, and you can apply different, you know, you can apply different color combinations to this if you start with, you know, white and white. Hey, Harding. Yeah, definitely. I haven't, you know, actually with the slippers, you know, the first time I tried it, I can't remember seeing them, but I do remember seeing the boots and the sneakers. And let's see. But I think the main variety comes from the grooms. So And I think that's the main point of it. I'm not sure if they're gonna. I would love to see more variety for that, but as far as kind of clothing, yeah. Unfortunately, I think what you see is what you get. I don't think there's anything else that they have as far in terms of outside of what's on here. And that's maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe there's other people out there that have played around with metahumans more than I have. But yeah, the only way that I can think of this is like I was saying, have everything white and then apply different materials, different tints. So so I can get to this point, but only by tinting that material. It doesn't have to have another texture set just for the same kind of outfit. And yeah, exactly. So if you're not happy with what comes from with the metahuman, that's what you would end up doing. But the face, exactly. I mean, the face is the biggest thing. The face and that plugin that I showed you um, to generate the facial animation. That's huge, and that's very helpful. Of course, you're not gonna get to the point of um, what you could potentially do with recording live, like with the AR kit, I think, or through your iPhone 15 or 25, whatever they have it nowadays, to record um, your actual facial animation. That'd be nice, but until then, I think this is a really good option having that plugin generate the facial animations for you. So but yeah, that's in here this is once I select this, you can take a look and you have the top hoodie and actually I actually haven't tried to oh, maybe I'm wrong. I guess the add-on is already thinking of it for me. So there you go. Well, that's cool. Oh, my bad, Epic. And let's see. And there you go. There is a little bit of a change in his outfit. And of course, this could be. I haven't. It's a pretty complex shader. I haven't looked into it. Do painted where? I'm not entirely sure what that does. I haven't looked into it too much with this shader, but I would assume you can add some other stuff to it. And if you can't, then right off the bat, you can just add it, and edit the shader real quick. Oh, for real? I mean, that's definitely true. It's um, having this as far as when it comes to VR projects, it would be definitely helpful. And even with the add-on, um, once you get the kind of the lift movement, the rest of it you can control via your animation blueprints. Like what I've done, especially with one of these guys, was at one point I was blending on. Well, initially I had some kind of timelines to do the eye blink, but you can also add some um, like the movement of the like the apple note, I think it's what it's called, like on your neck when you're talking, and you swallow, it just moves up and down. So just to give a little bit more um, kind of movement in the face, and also just moving the neck a little bit while you're talking. Right now it's pretty static with these animations, but I don't see why you couldn't just add that in to and that would just be through one of these modified curves. And again, it's you would have to go through them. There's like so many of those, um, like like a ton, and I can't remember which one was. For example, for moving your neck, kind of moving the head a little bit back and forth, and you know when right now the head is focused on the player in my case, but I would think that in like I was just playing Dying Light, and when the head moves a little bit during dialogues, the eyes still stick with you. So that's a little bit more of a realism type thing as well, which is nice. But again, there's uh, there's a reason why some things are called AAA, right? um, it's not just the amounts of money spent into marketing, but it's also kind of the work that goes with some of these things. So let's see. Was I gonna look at anything else today? Um, hmm. Yeah, well, who knows? I mean, I think Dying Light, the first one, came in 2016, and but they had the DLC. What is it? The following, and so yeah, I can only assume 4 to 5 years old and or worth of development, and yeah, there was probably one guy that was just developing the dialogue UI. So yeah, definitely. I really actually just finished it a second time, and while frustrating at times, it is a really really awesome game. And the first Dying Light as well. That was I actually kind of like that one better, but with this one, having that doesn't really do anything. Having the kind of the dialogue options to switch, right? So where you choose something else, and there's small changes in the story, and or not necessarily the story, but in the interactions you have after that. Um, yeah, definitely worth the money. I mean, when I think of a video game and getting your money's worth, that is very high up there. So I did not mind paying full price for that because I definitely got a lot of hours of enjoyment out of it, and just the ability to the the playthroughs were really nice. Um, okay, well, with that said, I don't think I have anything else to show. I have a couple of items that I guess came up during the stream as far as some fixes, and I'll definitely do a little bit more of a looking into this shader to see if I can add any changes or at least understand this a little bit better for some of these uh, variables to see how I can add a little bit more variety to the clothing. And but yeah, that's gonna be it for this stream. I'm definitely gonna try and do another one next week. Hopefully I can get back into it a little bit better. Um, yeah, you know what? I used to play multiplayer games when I was a lot younger, and I kind of liked them. But nowadays, um, honestly, it's kind of one of those things where it's people complain that we don't want single player games anymore, and then you see the stats from single player games and the amount of hours that are played. Yeah, I definitely like a story, so that's the only thing that I play. Story-based video games, and because it's also got a beginning and an ending. You feel like you accomplished, so you finish something. With the multiplayer game, I get it. You want to wind down for like half an hour and then do it again next day. Um, but yeah. Well, Infinito, thank you so much for stopping by. Harding, JG, same to you. You all have a great day, great week. Hey, Gitishe, welcome. Hey, no worries. Yeah, check it out if you're interested in. I was going over some stuff um, with animations and facial animations on MetaHumans. So hopefully you find it useful. But yeah, so I'm gonna be signing off. I'm gonna try another one um, next week, and I'm definitely gonna try to do 12 p.m. So basically noon time over here, and I'm gonna try and keep with that schedule. It's kind of tough sometimes, because life. And yeah, I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys next week. I'm gonna do my best to do it either on Saturday or Sunday. I hope to do it on both, but at least on one of those days. All right. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by. All right. Bye.